The World Health Organization is warning that extreme heat in Gaza could worsen health problems for Palestinians living there in dire conditions. It also said the Israeli military's daily pause in fighting has not improved deliveries of badly needed supplies. The charity Doctors Without Borders is warning it may be forced to stop or reduce its activities in Gaza if more supplies are not received in the coming days. For more on the humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip, we're joined by Alexandra Saieh. She's head of humanitarian policy and advocacy for the NGO Save the Children. Welcome to DW, Alexandra. Tell us what your colleagues on the ground in Gaza are saying about the impact of the current heat wave in the Mediterranean on what's already a very, very difficult situation.
Thank you for having me. Even before this heat wave, the conditions on the ground were absolutely atrocious. And this heat wave is going to be catastrophic for children in Gaza. Remember, early on in the war, Israel had shut off the electricity to Gaza. And now much of the infrastructure has been destroyed. And so there is no air conditioning. Families are basically living under tents without with very little fuel to cool off. And so the conditions are very, very hot. And this combined with the fuel shortages, the lack of clean water is making it a breeding ground for health problems and infectious diseases. And so, being early on in the summer, we're expecting things to get much worse.
Well, children, of course, are among the most vulnerable in Gaza. Tell us what their most urgent needs are and how can the international community help the children in Gaza?
The biggest need that children in Gaza have at the moment is safety. No place in Gaza is safe. Just yesterday, there was an attack on a Red Cross near a Red Cross facility where there were dozens of displaced families living and seeking shelter. And these mass casualty events we're seeing happen again and again and again, including in areas that Israel has declared as so-called safe zones or safer areas. And so there's no sense of safety and security for children. They continue to be fleeing for their lives with their families and finding no place to truly seek any sort of refuge or safety. In addition to that, due to the lack of supplies in medical supplies, we're also seeing children dying due to lack of medical assistance. Remember, we're seeing children losing their limbs due to the use of explosive weapons in densely populated areas. And health professionals and doctors in Gaza are forced to conduct emergency surgeries and respond to these trauma cases with very few supplies in hand. And so that is also one of the biggest needs for children at the moment. Of course, the lack of clean water is causing dehydration and fueling the disease as well. And without sufficient humanitarian assistance, including food and other supplies, it's making the situation even more dire.
That was Alexandra Saieh from the NGO Save the Children. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.